10 in the morning with Don Wade and Roma. Good morning. And I know that you go to bed with Mark Levin, but you wake up in the morning with Don and Roma. And
why does this sound like a movie?
You got to take a shower. I know. Mark Levin, he's
it's
on WLS weekdays from 9 to midnight, and he's the author of the best-selling book, and it is a monster, in sales. Liberty and Tyranny. Mark Levin, good morning.
Are we closer to tyranny today?
Yeah, Don and Roma, how are you?
We're good.
I don't know.
Were you at the Giants game last night?
No.
Oh,
okay.
good.
All right.
Then you won't be mad.
No, they lost. My Eagles lost. Everybody's losing. I feel like it's Chicago here.
Yeah, I know. The Bears are
they suck.
Making us feel like number one.
And I lost a little office bet over the Bears, as a matter of fact, because I'd put my quarter on the Bears.
What on earth for? We'll save
know.
it for Thursday because we're up against Singletary. It'll never happen.
No.
All right, let's get to the serious business at hand. The latest news we're getting out of ABC is that that this Major Hassan, the terrorist in our midst, knew the CIA knew that Major Hassan was trying to contact Al Qaeda on the internet and hook up with them. And we don't know whether the CIA people told the Army about it or not, but weren't we supposed to be connecting the dots after the 9/11 Commission?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, for the people who listen to my show, this thing sort of broke in the afternoon and then was breaking during my show, and I started to raise questions about this guy, and then the next day I flat out said he's a jihadist or some kind of fundamentalist based on what this other colonel who worked with him is saying, based on his behavior, and yet the media still, and frankly, even the head of the Army, they keep saying, well, let's not jump to conclusions. I mean, are we stupid?
George Casey, I got the clip of Casey saying diversity is our strength, and it would be worse if we lost our diversity. Well, how about all those dead soldiers?
How about we get real generals like we had during World War II and so forth who want to win these wars rather than these politically correct guys that come up.
I got a story here about our Homeland Chief, Janet Napolitano. She's over there in where is it? Somewhere in the Arab
Saudi.
world.
She's in Saudi Arabia with all the women in there.
She's reassuring the Arab world that U.S. authorities are taking measures to quell anti-Islam sentiments after the rampage by the Muslims serving as a U.S. Army psychiatrist.
Yeah, she was a disaster as a governor, had open borders essentially, and so any disaster as a governor winds up in his cabinet, or Maoists wind up in his cabinet. I am sick and tired of taking lectures from these people. I would say America has been extremely restrained in its response after 9/11, considering it wouldn't have taken much to blow these nations off the face of the earth, and we chose not to do that. Instead, men and women Americans in uniform overseas are putting their lives on the line, fighting a very different war, a very tactical, strategic war. They should be glad this isn't a World War II type of war, and I'm being honest, where we would wipe cities off the face of the earth. I'm not encouraging that. But the idea that after we bend over backwards to try and limit civilian damage, where our laws apply due process to everybody, regardless of their faith, regardless of their background, and over in Saudi Arabia they're lopping people's heads off for looking in the wrong direction, we have no reason to apologize to third world backwards barbarian regimes when we are a civilized nation simply trying to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, today is the 20th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Do you think that it was a mistake for our president to say he was too busy to attend this event?
I think this president was too busy to attend, and because he doesn't believe in the things that we believe in. You know, he's busy trying to reorganize our nation against the will of the people. He's busy apologizing to tyrants all over the world for the great things we've done for mankind. And he would only go to that wall if he was the center of attention. Well, he wasn't going to be the center of attention, and he had nothing to do with the collapse of that wall or the Soviet Empire or the Eastern Bloc and the liberation of 200 million people. So he's not going to go because the attention won't be focused on him. This guy is the worst kind of ideologue. He's an egomaniac. I honestly believe these things. And every president would go to that wall on an anniversary like this. Bill Clinton would go. Carter would go, even though he wouldn't like it, he'd go. But this guy, at least he's open about it,
Well, do you think it's because of the Reagan and the evil empire and that we will bring you down?
He thinks we're the evil empire. And that's why he is systematically leading a fifth column in this country to unravel America's superpower status abroad and at home. Look at what's going on here. We have 10.2% unemployment. He gives a perfunctory comment the other day. It's like he doesn't even give a damn about it. We're basically turning off the oil and gas spigot, and that's going to come and bite us one day, if not this winter, soon. He doesn't care about that, making this nation poor. He subsidizes everything. He's the most profligate spender in world history, except when it comes to the military, where he's trying to cut back. He's very embarrassed by the history and traditions of this nation. He's doing everything he can to change them.
So what does Mark Levin think of the New York Times with a headline story, broader measure of U.S. unemployment stands at 17.5%. This is the broadest measure of unemployment and underemployment tracked by the Labor Department, highest level since the Great Depression. And they're 17.5 represents all those people not who are collecting unemployment, but those who have lived beyond their unemployment eligibility, still don't have work or are underemployed.
Or who have accepted part-time work while they try to, just feed their family. 1 in 6
workers are unemployed. And it's even in the New York Times. It's that bad that even the New York Times is going to let everybody know things are bad.
And what does this guy want to do about it? He wants to massively increase taxes on small businesses. I mean, if a small business hires a person under the Pelosi bill, and they decide, you know what, we can't afford to pay health care, which might be 25% of your salary. Instead, we'll pay an 8% tax, and you'll go on the government system. Do you think small businesses, dry cleaners, mechanic shops, restaurants, people that you and I see every day, do you think they're going to start hiring people when you have a built-in 8 to 10% penalty right on top of hiring somebody? I mean, this is absolutely crazy. He's doing the absolutely wrong things if you want to grow the economy. But here's the thing. He doesn't want to grow the economy. He wants to change the country. He wants it to be a government-centered, centralized country.
No capitalism.
What's that?
Capitalism is out.
Capitalism is dead. I mean, that's what he was taught. And it's right there in his 2 magnificent memoirs, which, basically spell out the people who influenced him and what his philosophy is. He's a Saul Alinsky, Reverend Right leftist. That's what he is.
Well, I'm curious about your reaction to California imposing a 10% withholding tax. They're just taking it out of everybody's money, and everybody's kind of surprised. And they say, yeah, we're going to pay it back to you on income tax filing day. So they're forcing the citizens of California to lend the state 10% of their income, whether they're on minimum wage or they're making $1 million a year, it doesn't matter. 10% of it goes to the state of California.
And this is the nature of tyranny, isn't it?
And this is where, this is what you're right about. Liberty and tyranny. That would be the tyranny part.
This is the nature of tyranny, where all these politicians are doing things on our behalf, and they are destroying the economy. They're destroying the society in California. I want people to remember that 20 years ago, George H.W. Bush won California when he was running for president. Nobody believes that's even possible today. It took 20 years to destroy that magnificent state, the state that gave us Ronald Reagan. That is America 20 years from now if we don't put a stop to this.
Yeah, that's why
So
are
California, you stunned by the power of Nancy Pelosi? She not only pushed through cap and trade, but she also got her health care bill through.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. There are 2 Americas here, as the great John Edwards used to say. There's us and there's them. And what Pelosi is doing, and Obama and the rest, is they're trying to institutionalize their left-wing agenda regardless of election outcomes. They're trying to put it in as fast as they can, get it spread throughout the bureaucracy and throughout the states. And if they lose 20, 25 phony blue dogs, so be it. They're trying to create a permanent power base over time. And, now we have a battle line. We've got to fight this in the U.S. Senate. And anybody who votes for this, in these red districts or these reddish states or even purple states, we must defeat them. Even in Illinois, we have a shot in Illinois this cycle, and we ought to pay attention. Well, I know you will, but nationally we ought to pay attention to it. I mean, if we can win the governorship in New Jersey, I think we can take some seats in Illinois.
Well, there's some people with vulnerable votes because they were in previously Republican